final score, Duke 80, Arkansas 71. Let's call it Cameron Boozer's introduction to the nation on America's most watched network. It's the network of stars. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and now Duke is 8-0. Norlander, good to see you. It's nice to know that you made it back from Las Vegas all safe and sound. What'd you make of what Cameron Boozer did on Thanksgiving night?
Yeah, only $50 lighter in the pocket, by the way, from Vegas. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Well, you take that every time.
Every time, no doubt about it. You're right. This was, Duke had the season opener against Texas. Obviously, the first week, that's a high-profile game. They had Kansas in the Champions Classic, another high-profile game. But the numbers aren't in, but it stands to reason that Duke versus Arkansas, because it was on America's most watched network on Thanksgiving night, will wind up as the most viewed college basketball game of the regular season. And so, yes, for a lot of people that maybe had not had a chance to see Cameron Boozer or Duke this season, oh boy, you could not have picked a better spot to have a bigger game. And he very, very much did that. 9-point win for Duke. They get some separation late. But with Boozer and what he was able to do just time and time again, it was actually Boozer and then Caleb Foster who really recovered in the second half and wound up with a pretty nice game overall. He had 15 points and a career high 8 assists, but it was only those two that scored for the majority of the second half for Duke. They had 33 of the team's 39 points. Boozer did a little bit of everything. I mean, he had some plays in transition and fully in transition, like 90 feet down the floor, hit a couple of threes, obviously used the post well. I did notice, not to give really too much unnecessary voice to perhaps some begrudged Arkansas fans. I think that some folks had some real issues with how Boozer's using his body and using the elbow and using the hook to get some separation. Maybe a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of that, but he was absolutely dominant. And to me, with this showing, ascended to, for now, the best freshman through the first 3.5 weeks of the season. If you want to say he's the best player, you actually can build that case out right now. He's been incredible. He's the first Duke freshman in the past 30 seasons with multiple 35-point games in a season. Like Cooper Flagg last year, Boozer's off to the same pace. He leads Duke in every major statistical category. As of this morning, he's at 22.9 points, 9.8 boards, 3.8 assists per game. He's the only guy in the country averaging at least 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 3.9 or more assists. So he's been terrific. Last night was just an awesome showing for him in a venue that he'll spend many games in over the course of his NBA career. What was your takeaways on what we saw from the Hogs and the Blue Devils?
I mean, he was incredible, and he is incredible. We've gone through it before. 2-time Gatorade National Player of the Year, only 4th man to ever win that award twice. He's doing things that no freshman at Duke has done ever or in a long time. And I don't have to remind you, Duke had the best freshman and player in the country just last season. I noted the same thing you did. I didn't know this time yesterday, but looking at it this morning, as I'm updating the top 25 and 1, yeah, it was a big deal. Like part of the Cooper Flagg National Player of the Year campaign was, and he's leading Duke in 5 major statistical categories. Well, Cameron Boozer is doing the exact same thing right now. And for whatever it's worth, the KenPom Player of the Year standings are a thing. I won't pretend to be smart enough to know how they calculate it, but just know that if you look at it, Cameron Boozer is like running away with it right now. He's at 2.382. I don't have any idea what that means, but Joshua Jefferson is second at Iowa State at 1.561. So he is significantly ahead of everybody else. I don't have any idea what it means, but I know he's one and everybody else is below him. And John Shire, young coach, obviously long career ahead of him, but I think he's figured out something already. Like if you get the best player every year, that seems smart to me. That seems smart to me to go and just say, you know what, I'm going to try to have the best player in the country every single season. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it's a great place to start.
It makes you wonder why more coaches don't go and get the best player in the country every season, doesn't it?
does make you. I mean, like, are the rest of these guys just idiots?
I mean, clearly.
Like John Shire.
More coaches go and get the best player in the country every season. What's up?
It's like John Shire and a bunch of idiots out there.
Yeah,
they're all making millions of dollars. You got one guy out there that figured it out, and he's like still like among the youngest, and he already figured it out. You got other guys; they're in their 70s. There are guys out there in their 70s never have had the best player in the country. Wow.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, what do they even pay you for?
Let's go.
I tell you what, Boozer. Even with my expectation, we talked about this in the preseason a few times. My expectation that Boozer would be a stat monster, and he has met that. I'd say he's eclipsed the bar. He's eclipsed the bar through the first 8 games of the season, and there were times last night during this game where I was a little surprised that Cal maybe didn't throw some other stuff at Boozer, but even with that, it was, he's just going to will them to this win. This is, he's going to make sure that they win the game. I talked about it late night on HQ as we recap the game. It's a really, really positive sign for Duke that you have a freshman like Boozer not even getting into December, high profile game, ranked opponent, super talented opponent. And he just says, guys, I got this one. And he ensures that that's how it goes down the stretch. Because remember, Arkansas took the lead. They were up like 7. I think they were up 7 with 10 and change to go in the second half. And then from there, Duke surged back. Arkansas couldn't take the lead back. They didn't even score a bucket in the final 3 minutes of the game. Took a couple of bad shots that, had they been better shots, would have, cut it to 1 or 2 points or tied the game. Couldn't get it done. And then Duke just dominated on the glass. Once it was 60-53 Arkansas, from that point on, Duke got 14 rebounds. Arkansas only got 4. Arkansas was a team that came into the night averaging 91 a game. Duke held it to 71. Duke has held every opponent under its scoring average so far this season. We saw that. I believe we saw that with Duke last season. And I don't know if it was every game, but Duke held almost every single one of its opponents. I believe this is just me trying to pull a thread from a season ago. I think they were the team that held almost every opponent that they faced under their season scoring average. Duke is now 8-0 for the first time since 2017-18. That is not even the Zion year, if you're curious. That is the year before Zion and RJ and Co. And yeah, they are a really, really, really good shooting team. They are shooting 65.2% from inside the 3-point arc. They are highly efficient, and we'll get to the results here in a little bit. But there's a very good conversation that continues to grow around this sport, and that is who is the best team. Michigan obviously has a case. We'll get to what I saw with the Wolverines shortly. In addition to Arizona, really good resume. Purdue, we know what it can do, and it's probably going to hold that number 1 spot, we think, on Monday. But Duke, by nature of how it won on Thanksgiving night GP, I think deserves inclusion into this as well. Just really, really solid stuff overall. My last thing on Duke in the game, and then take wherever you want. I don't think that this is the formula. Okay. Every so often, if you want to get, a 30 plus 35 point night from Boozer, it's going to be great. You can't say, all right, we need Boozer to be a 25, 12, and 4 guy for the entire season, and that's going to ensure that we're going to get a 1 seed. They will get more help. This was just a game where he needed to take over, but you're going to quite clearly have to have nights where it's going to be Isaiah Evans. Maybe Caleb Foster gets a little more consistent. Patrick Ngongwa had a couple of nice plays. In fact, he had a swat near the end that kind of sealed it. But I think it's fair to say Camden Boozer can be great, and that's an awesome thing, but they can't have last night's script be a reliable thing over the course of the season, and obviously Shire and his staff know that.
I don't know that Duke is the best team in the country. They certainly belong in the conversation, though, just based off of the roster, the record is still undefeated, and they've got now a win over a talented Arkansas team and a win over a Kansas team that went undefeated in the Players Era Festival with a victory over Tennessee. So the resume is solid. Obviously, the roster is what it is. They're terrific, and they've got 2 interesting games coming up. Florida, we'll get to the Gators because they're in a weird spot already earlier in the season. but they got Florida at home on Tuesday, and then a week from tomorrow at Michigan State. And I guess every preseason we do a little thing right before we get started where we just take a guess at what will be the last undefeated team in the country. If I remember correctly, and I hope that I don't, I think I said UCLA. That's not working out.
I think I said Michigan, by the way.
Well,
I think that might be working out for me, but we'll save that for a few there.
Yeah. Well, the UCLA one, that one's not going so well. But Duke is a candidate for that now. Obviously, at the Breslin Center is difficult, but according to KenPom, they should be projected as a favorite in that game. And according to KenPom, as of this moment, they're not an underdog in any game until they visit Louisville on January the 6th, January 6th. So, they could have a zero in the loss column for quite some time.
Let's go to Arkansas real quick before we tour through it's insane how much hoops we have to get to. Arkansas's 5-2, has lost its only 2 games versus high majors this season. Plenty of time. They actually play Louisville in now 5 days. That's going to be a big one. They get that game at home. That game has just immense potential. Again, just great game after great game after great game. Just an awesome start to the season. But they lost by 3 at Michigan State the first week of the season, and then they played Duke, in Chicago last night with a 9-point defeat. The good from it, Darius Acuff really comporting himself like a veteran in that spot. He had 21 points, 5 dimes, only 1 turnover, only 1 foul. He was the most important, consistent player on the floor. You can't ask him to do everything. Malik Thomas had a few good buckets. He took a 3 late that had it gone. I kind of referenced this before. Had that dropped, then maybe we've got something cooking there in the final minute or so. But that play was a little bit of a disaster overall. Trevin Brazil had 11 boards, 11 points, really had his hands more than full with Boozer. They did not do him any kind of favors. But I thought the Acuff stuff was really inspiring. And Arkansas fans have known what they have with this guy, following his recruitment the way they did and all the hype coming in. That was a good sign. But it's just got to put all the pieces together. In the preseason when we talked about this team, I said I was really excited for Acuff to team up with Thomas and with DJ Wagner. Wagner was a total non-factor in this game last night. And when you play a team that's of top 5 quality like Duke, you're just going to have your guards step up in a much bigger way collectively than they did. So Arkansas still's got plenty more time, but you get through the first month of the season, you don't have a good win on the schedule yet. We'll see if they can develop into something a little bit better. I know Arkansas fans harangued you and I both because we didn't think this was a top 10 team going into the season. Well, we'll see what happens over the next 3 months, but through the first month, this is quite clearly and obviously not a top 10 team.
You might have been harangued. I refuse to be harangued.
You were harangued whether you wanted to or not. Did you have them top 10? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
You think I was harangued?
I think you were harangued. Yes.
I didn't feel harangued, but often I reject haranguing. I
think haranguement's the word you want there.
Yeah, sometimes I reject that. Just,
okay.
You got to have your boundaries. Everybody needs to have their boundaries. I think Arkansas, if you said give me a 1-sentence summary, I think they've played games and they've beaten the teams that they're better than, and they've lost to the teams they're not as good as.
That's an accurate, succinct assessment through the first 3.5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they've beaten the teams that they're better than, and they've lost to a couple of teams that they're not as good as, and I think they'll be fine. Like where they're ranked right now, what they are right now, it's about what I expected them to be. So I certainly wouldn't push any panic buttons. That's a talented team that I don't think will have the same type of ups and downs that last season's team did, somewhat because of injuries last season. I think this Arkansas team's gonna be they'll be fine, and you'll look up and they'll be a 4, 5, 6 seed in the NCAA tournament with a chance to advance to the second weekend and perhaps further.